Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over some of the details on my truck. I had a few viewers ask about this center console here. As you can see, I've got the entire thing stripped down, a lot more than it has been. So currently everything is removed. I've got it literally stripped down to the bare necessities. I've got the rest of the wiring harness tucked up in there, zip tied into place, and our instrument cluster, we have our plugs there, and then our headlights, of course. So first things first, we're gonna go over the center console. I will remove it so I can give you an idea of what it looks like underneath. So let me do that. Now that we've got that out of the way, we can see what's going on here. So we have our standard 5-speed. This is the NV3500 gearbox. And as you can tell, it's a little bit different than normal. So give you a closer idea of what's going on here. We have a hinge point here, just rocks forward and backward, as you can see. Not a whole lot of movement there. And then we've got our hinge point here. So we've got a hinge point there, and then we have a tie rod end from a Can-Am Renegade that I had laying around. So it's literally just bolted to the floor with a piece of steel angle, and it allows the side-to-side motion and forward and back motion. So basically how it works here: first gear, second gear, third, fourth, fifth, and then all the way over reverse. So same standard style, just moves it back a little bit so you can have a center console and you don't have the big long shifter with that extremely far throw. So this helps to simplify it a little bit as far as building your center console. So over here we have our seats. As you can see, Brody got up in here, but we've got custom brackets. I will show you on the seat that's removed so you can get an idea what's going on there. They are out of a 2017 Subaru WRX. They're really dirty right now, but to give you an idea of how they work, I've got a piece of steel angle here with just your normal bolts that go through to the factory mounts on the seat. So this is original, and then I built this bracket system. So you utilize the factory bolts over there, and then in the back, this is the only welding you had to do on the actual seat frame. I put a piece of steel angle and bent it straight, or bent it flat so it would mount to the bottom, and then I utilized the OEM seat belts so that I could get away with these for a little bit temporarily. I'm gonna end up doing full harnesses. Gonna have a piece of tubing that goes through here, so it's gonna come out, drill a hole through here, Splondo, so might as well. What have we done to the truck so far? As you can see, we have removed all of the body panels. The bed has been removed, and I had started building a tube chassis for it. So we've got our upgraded front bumper here. This is, I want to say it's 1/4 inch, but this piece here that I cut it off of probably weighs 250 pounds alone. And this right here probably weighs roughly 50. So it's pretty beefy. Next thing, we're gonna remove this factory air box. We're gonna put a snorkel up to the side, and then we're gonna put a roof cage, and this roll cage is gonna be finished up. So we still have our factory AC compressor. The condenser has been removed. The radiator is sitting in the garage temporarily. I've got my Fairlead for the winch sitting here. Haven't got the winch in yet. Also, since we've gutted the interior, I've ran my heater core lines and plugged them together. So it's just a constant feed. So that's taken care of. The fan clutch has been removed because we're gonna do electric fans. And eventually I'm going to do a compressor delete. So probably we'll end up with a shorter belt or a pulley that swaps this entire unit. So that's all gonna come off. So as you can see, it's taken apart. There's a lot missing in here. The entire fan assembly with the housing, that was a pain in the butt to get out. I had to break most of it up with a hammer. A lot of work. Definitely something I don't want to have to do again. So I'm just glad it's taken care of now. Up here we have our cab lights. We have the wires coming through. Haven't wired them up yet just because we got to get the rest of the stuff at least fabricated. So my plans are, we're gonna build a interior, somewhat of a roll cage. It's not gonna be much, have much structural rigidity, just to hold this entire assembly in place. So it's gonna have a piece of 1 3/4 tubing across to the other side of this pillar, and then on top of that we're going to do some 1 3/4 tubing down and hold the center console in place. And then we'll have our panel here with switches, and I've already got the switches, so I'll give you guys an idea of what those are going to look like. I'll show you here in a minute. Alright, so I'm testing out my new switch panel, and it has a USB, so I've got a phone charger plugged in, and I've got a light wired up. So I'm going to connect the battery and we'll see what it does. Phone is charging, 19.8 volts, and let's flip the switch for the light, and we have light. Look at that, awesome. So yeah, there's just a little idea of what we've got going on. It's been super busy around here, but here's the center console that I fabbed up. It's kind of roughed in. Give you guys a look at what it kind of looks like. So basically this is a piece of, I think it's 10 gauge, it's 10 or 12 gauge galvanized steel, and I bent it on the bottom edges so that I would have some structural rigidity there, and then I had some nice round bends on the sides, which came out nicely. So it's still a little bit flimsy, as you can see, but when it is fastened down, it does strengthen up quite a bit. So that's what the interior looks like, and I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if you liked the video in the comments below, and if you want to see more on this truck.